Happy Wednesday, everybody. What's happening? Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your what? Your money. So today we are going to talk about something many of us are too afraid to confront. Bankruptcy. Now, whether it's from a divorce, whether it's from financial mistakes or unexpected setbacks, bankruptcy is more common than you might think. Tisha Campbell was left with just $21 after her divorce, and Toni Braxton famously filed bankruptcy not once, but twice, despite her multi-million-dollar career. And even I have navigated the financial challenges of bankruptcy. It's a reality that can happen to just anyone, to everyone. No one is absolved from doing this, no matter how much you achieved. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to bounce back after financial hardships and rebuild. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving again. We're going to discuss the mindset it takes to come back stronger and the steps you need to rebuild your credit, your finances, and your future. Now, before we get started, I got two of the dopest human beings on the planet that's rocking with me today. First, I want to my road dog, my ride or die, Miss Black Hollywood. What's up, baby? You good?
I'm good.
I see you back in LA.
I am finally, unfortunately, but finally.
Unfortunately, but unfortunately. Okay.
Yes, like okay. I miss food and everything. Go ahead.
Girl, okay. You was just starving yourself 2 months ago. Now you're gonna be out here. I don't know why I'm so bad.
No, you know what I would do, Constance? I would run like 6 or 7 miles, and then I would allow myself to eat.
And you'd eat up everything.
Every day. Yeah.
That's not how you're supposed to do it.
I did like 40 miles. I did 40 miles while I was in New Orleans.
Shit.
Yeah,
okay.
But I see you. I ate when I was in New Orleans too.
You deserved it. You're gonna have to turn up your mic a little bit though. So, and then I want to bring on my girl, Dr. Charm. Listen, I don't know if you guys know about Dr. Charm. We just got word that she's going to be hosting All Black National Convention next month in Atlanta, Georgia. But listen, if you don't know about Dr. Charm, you better get to know about her. She is a doctor. She is a stand-up comedian, and she is a psychic. So she can deliver your baby, tell a joke, and predict your future. And then she just added real estate agent onto her resume. This girl do anything. She's all things to all people. Listen, if you need to get your future read, hit up Dr. Charm. If you need to get a baby delivered, hit up Dr. Charm. If you want to go listen to some funny shit, go to Dr. Charm. And now, if you want to buy a house, you can go to Dr. Charm. What's up, ladies? How y'all doing today?
What's up? That introduction alone, I mean, my goodness, I feel like the most elevated of VIPs
That's
in this building.
Listen, I just call it like I see it, sis. I just call it like I see it. Thank you. Listen, financial hardship is not anything new to me. Life gives you ebbs and flows, especially if you have not had a financial literacy or if you don't know anything about being financially literate. And if your financial IQ is maybe a little bit in a deficit, it can happen, but it can also happen to the best of us. I know the only thing that I heard about growing up is my family, my parents I overheard them saying that we can't do nothing because we got bad credit. That's all I knew. They didn't tell me about money. They didn't tell me how to write a check. They just said that they had bad credit. And I didn't know what that bad credit was. I just knew it was ruining our lives. And so I vowed that I would never have bad credit. I vowed that I was going to always, and I became obsessed with credit. And then it happened. I filed bankruptcy. I had a 379 credit score, all the things. And even though my financial IQ was a little bit elevated at the time, I still faced that. So it doesn't matter what walk of life you come through. It can happen to you too. For both of you ladies, have you guys had any types of situations where, some people don't like to talk about it. I don't mind because where I am ain't where I'm going. But have the two of you had any kind of financial hardships in your life? I'll start with you, Miss Black Hollywood.
You know it. I moved to Los Angeles from New Orleans right after Hurricane Katrina. So that was probably my first as an adult. And then there's always things happening, right? Like we had a strike a couple years ago where I was like outside trying to DoorDash. Like I knew, listen, I was crying in the car. Like I don't know, I just made $3 in 4 hours. So things happen.
Oh, wait. Back that up. Back that
Yes,
thing up. What?
yes. Like I was trying to figure it out. I was like, oh my God, my savings is dwindling. What am I do, Jesus? And so I started downloading these apps. I'm like, okay, DoorDash, go to the hot spot. I was sitting out there for like 4 hours. I made $3.79. I came home and was like,
I'd be like this.
I called the crisis hotline that night. I was like, I was so stressed out.
Listen, I understand. Sis. Are you serious?
Yes.
You didn't even make $1 an hour.
$5, yo. It was $3.
Sharecroppers made more than that. God, dang it. Oh my God.
That's what happened. True story.
Oh, bless your heart, friend. What
Thank
about
God.
you?
Thank God.
No, listen. Let me tell you something.
Listen.
We don't look like what we've been through. We do not look like what we've been through. Dr. Char, what about you? Have you ever faced any financial hardship challenges?
Yeah, definitely. As a medical student, that was very difficult on my finances, and coming out of med school, and you have, debt and things like that. And so I definitely had to do a lot to work on my credit and things like that. Just like you grew up with family that I don't even think, they knew their credit scores and so forth and so on. And so I was always kind of apprehensive about that kind of stuff. And what I did was I partnered with a Black-owned company about 9 years ago, and they helped me buy my first home. So they helped me build my credit and work on it, and financial education. And it took about a year. And I was, had been a lifelong renter and didn't think I could buy a home just because of student loans and all that kind of stuff. And so was able to get my credit up and walked into the lender, and they said, hey, you're pre-approved. And it was nothing like that, that feeling, because I just burst out crying. I'm emotional. And to be able to walk in after having worked really hard and be able to, buy my first home, that was like in 2020. So it was great to be able to go through that process and rebuild my credit and work on my financial health.
That's dope. Can I keep it real with y'all? So just last week, disaster struck for me. And I'm fighting it right now. The last show I was on, what was that, last Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday? I don't know. I came on there. I was looking like I wanted to throw up. Right before I got online, I got a thing on my all my credit agencies saying that there was something going on with my credit. I looked at it and it said I was 180 days behind on a student loan. What student loan? I ain't got no student loans. Well, back in 2017, I took out a Parent Plus student loan for my daughter. Nobody contacted me. So they were sending notifications to my property in California. They were not calling my phone, nothing. They never sent me an email. They never even reported nothing on my credit.
Wow.
They didn't report 30 days. They didn't report 60 days. They didn't report 90 days. They didn't report 120 days. They reported all at once. Now I got perfect credit, y'all. 180 days all at once today. If it wasn't for bad luck, I felt like, because I was like, okay, I got this Tesla. I got to go take the Tesla back. Like I had all this stuff was predicated on my credit. This is real. This is real time. This is Constance Carter right now. I got this Tesla. I got to get a new roof. My roof is almost damn near caving in. So I got to go get this new car. I'm going to go take this car back. Well, I got a couple of little scratches on it. Let me get them taken care of. So I get the couple of scratches taken care of. That was Thursday. I was like, I'm going to take it back on Friday. Well, you know what? I'll take it back on Monday. Sunday morning, I wake up. There's a big old scratch on it. What? I can't take it back on Monday. Take it to the shop. They're like, it's $900 to get it taken. So Monday, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Tuesday is when I got hit with the bomb. So now credit didn't drop 150 points. Credit's jet. But of course I'm fighting. I'm doing all the things, wrote the letters, you know, took it up to the CEO. You know, I've done so I'm doing all the things right now, but this isn't real time. This is real life that's happening to me right now at this moment. And I'm like, damn, I can't even fuck my own shit up. Like, credit is everything. I mean, I got best-selling books on credit. You know what I'm saying? This is my zhuzh. And for this to happen to me and at this particular time, it's like, you know what I mean? Because here's the thing, and I want everybody to understand, you need to have good credit, not just so that you could buy materials, but it's so that you could build wealth. Like, I'm an investor. I invest in real estate. Like, I need my credit for all of these different things. I have a bunch of stuff going on. And so if you don't have good credit, you cannot leverage your credit to build wealth. It's so extremely important. And so I'm going through this right now. So I'll give y'all an update on my journey when I get it taken off. Not if, but when I get it taken off. But yeah, that shit happened to me right now. So
she was
it's real.
So stressed out. I think
oh my God.
I texted
they
her
don't even
and
know.
Hey, sis, how you doing? She was like, oh, life is just, I said, well, it's going to be okay. This is the
I said, I give up. That's what I said. I give up.
And when was this? This was last week, Constance?
Yes. I was here. This is right before I got on here.
This is me texting her. She's talking about I give up. On life?
Yeah, basically, yes. I was giving up on life. So you didn't know because lights, camera, action, I'm go. But right before we got on here, Dr. Lene texted me, you okay, sis? Like, everything okay? And I'm like,
so you didn't know that daughter didn't know? Oh, your daughter didn't know that it had gone in arrears?
No, because there were two. So she has one, right? So she has one through FAFSA, and then there's this Parent Plus loan. So I think maybe she may have gotten a notice, but she thought it was a scam because she had this other one. She didn't know about it was all that, right? And so that was in deferment. So this one was, I don't know.
And they change servicers so often for the federal ones. I mean, I know mine have been sold like 3 or 4 times, probably 4 times since I graduated medical school, and I only had government back. So yeah, it's so much going on, and then there's so many scammers out there that rob people and go in and take stuff. So it can easily happen. Like I have the person who sold me my condo. She's a real estate attorney and developer. She has like 50 properties in Chicago, and she just did a video on Instagram how she was that someone had gotten something off of a check, a potential buyer or something, and they had gotten the account numbers off of one of the earnest money checks or something, and they end up not buying the house. And then they went in and took like $30,000 or $40,000 like out of the account like overnight. So you just don't know.
There's a ton of wire fraud going on.
Yeah, a lot of wire fraud. And I know in Chicago, I had a couple of people hit my car, and they gave documentation like they had insurance. And then I go to call the to get the car repaired, and they're like, this person doesn't have insurance, to the point where I had State Farm, and I was like, I can't believe they're not catching these folks. And the girl at State Farm said, Dr. Charm, there's people who are walking in here with fraudulent insurance papers that I can't even tell that they're fraudulent when they show them to me. And she's the State Farm agent.
Wow. Yeah, it's wild out in these streets. And I will say, especially when you're looking at student loans, the HVAC guy that came to my house yesterday, he said that he had gotten a settlement. He got a settlement because, with the big, beautiful bill, all the things that they're doing and everything that Trump's implemented, he said he was going after your wages. Do you know, he said he got an $8,000 settlement and it was intercepted by his student loan. I said, I did this. I said, I would have shed a mother effing tear. You sitting there salivating, you waiting on, I got plans of what I'm finna do with this $8,000. And that don't get intercepted for some damn student loans. What? So it is real out here. It's not a game. Everybody just kind of keep your head on a swivel, because it's a lot going on. But we're going to talk more about it after the break.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, I appreciate the good words, good vibes, and all of that, because life do be life, and it's real. It's real. And so my gift and curse is that I am very transparent about my life. So whether it's good or bad, you're going to hear it at some point. You may not hear the bad in real time sometimes, but you will. I'm always going to be transparent about what I go through, because my shit is not perfect, but I do it. And the reason why I do share is because I want you to learn from it. And I want you to be able to avoid some of the pitfalls that I've had to endure. And so now I'm in a pitfall right now. Yeah, shit is fucked up. But I mean, life goes on, right? Life be life. And like you said, double A. But I want to go to this video, Tiara, and this video of Toni Braxton, because I don't know if you guys know, she filed bankruptcy. And so let's talk about her journey.
Chad, approximately how much does the student...
You need me to do it?
Explain us bankruptcy for a little bit, because I was confused with bankruptcy.
Because you never look broke to us, ever.
Nah. Then you just buy a new crib?
6 months ago.
About 6 months ago.
You gotta explain this.
And it was $3 million, right?
About that.
Get out of pockets. Sheesh.
About that. About that, yeah.
So what made you file for bankruptcy?
Because I had no money.
We don't believe you.
No, I read about it. 2010.
Okay.
I filed it a couple years ago. Okay.
So you got back on your feet that quick to be able to buy a $3 million house? Or $6 million house?
I have good credit.
So I saw this video of Toni Braxton. This was a few years ago. But she was explaining that in 2010 she filed bankruptcy, and then a few years later she was able to buy a $3 million house. But I wanted to show this video from the aspect that, again, I always talk about wealthy people file bankruptcy. It's not, and like she said, she had at the very end, she said, I had good credit, I just didn't have the money. And it's not that she doesn't have money coming in. At the time, life happened for her, where another part of the interview, I'm going to find that clip where she said the reason why she filed bankruptcy is because at the time she had medical reasons of why she filed bankruptcy, and her insurance was not covering it. So she was having to pay out of pocket in order to pay for her medical expenses. So for a lot of wealthy people, they file bankruptcy for a financial restructuring. Because she filed bankruptcy, she was able to, again, a few years later, to buy her home, which was a $3 million home or something like that. And again, I don't count people pockets or anything like that. They're on another tax bracket than I am currently. But you see how she was, I show that video because you see how she wasn't ashamed to talk about the bankruptcy. We should not be ashamed to talk about it, because guess what? She's still alive. So again, I need us to stop being embarrassed. I need us to stop being upset with ourselves of us having to file bankruptcy. It was just...
That's real. Have you ever been in a situation, Dr. Charm, where you've had to file bankruptcy? Have you been there? Close to anything?
No, I fortunately have not. I mean, I've had times in my life where there's been financial strife, but fortunately I hadn't got to that point, thank God.
Yeah. What about you, Kiera? You say close but no cigar?
No, I haven't had to file bankruptcy. I just, I definitely had faced devastation, but always been able to kind of land on my feet.
Yeah.
Even if it's taken a while.
I know that you guys said that, your rock bottom moment was that moment. What was that? The strike? What was the turning point? How were you able to overcome that?
Yeah. So it was really just something that, so about 6 months before that, I had an idea to kind of take some of the skills that I had learned in the last 20 years in Hollywood, and like use them for regular people, like business owners and other people. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I tossed the flyer to the side. I created it and then tossed it to the side. And so when that happened, I remembered one of our queens was like, just be still. Because I was crying and yelling and carrying on and talking about some, just like you, like, I give up, right? But once I was able to get centered, often I go outside and I just like, when I walk my long walks, God speaks to me and he downloads. And he was like, remember the flyer you made? And so it was my Real Virtual flyer. It was for my Real Virtual business. So I started, I just sent the flyer out to like 30, 40 people I knew, and 5 people responded to me. And before I knew it, I had a business, and I've been running Real Virtual ever since. It's been the best thing that's happened, because now I can work with celebrities, but now I can just work with entrepreneurs and people that want coaching, and it's really more fulfilling than just trying to work in Hollywood. So it was a better pivot for me.
Yeah. You see how she took that one idea and then it morphed into all of these other different things where she's helping people. And so a couple of things that I really want you to take away from that is that she had an idea, she executed it, and then she expanded on it. And so many of us have these ideas in our mind, and we have these businesses that we want to start, and we wait until we're backed into a corner before we actually do it. But what if you were able to just transition into that thing that you really, really wanted to do right now, and you don't have to wait until you about to slit your wrist, or that you make $3 in 4 hours? Like, we don't want you to get to that point. Like, really try to think about, okay, what am I going to do in this iteration of my life? How do I shift? How do I pivot? I will tell you that for me, I filed bankruptcy in 2009. And because like I said, I looked at my parents and what they did, and Dr. Charm is in real estate. And she just said before we got on, oh my God, you didn't tell me how busy I will be. My phone won't stop ringing, all of that. That's a good problem to have, sis. The thing about it is you can make a lot of money very quickly. So here's a word of advice. Don't spend it all, because it's feast or famine. So only 1 year I made less than $100,000 in real estate. That was my first year. I think I made between 50 and 70,000. Every other year I made no less than 100,000. Okay. And so I'm 26. I got my license at 26. I'm chugging. So the more money I made, the more things I needed. Now I remember telling my dad, I'll never get a Mercedes. I'm just going to use this old car and I'm going to be responsible. I got the Mercedes and the Beamers and everything else. And the house that I had was no longer sufficient for me, my daughter, and my husband. The 5-bedroom house that I had was just too small. So now I need a bigger house. I needed more property. I needed more things. And then it just, I got to where I had more month and money. I was, making all this. I was making a $250,000 at that point. I was 33, but I had more going out than I had coming in. But what I looked at it like, because bankruptcy, just like the young lady on the video said, it's a business decision. It was a restructure for me. I looked at Donald Trump at the time. He had kept filing bankruptcy. I looked at the city that I lived in. They had just filed bankruptcy. Also, San Bernardino had filed bankruptcy. I looked at it as I'm restructuring. And so when I went to bankruptcy court, it was like the best day of my life. Up until that moment, it was, baby bankruptcy. Like, it was like the second best day of my life.
Corporations do it all the time. So why should we feel shame? They don't feel any shame. It's a tool for them. I mean, how many times has Donald Trump filed bankruptcy and he had Chapter 7 and all this kind of stuff? So like I don't think that there should be a stigma on it. It's a tool for us to use. The uber wealthy, the ultra rich, they specialize in avoiding paying taxes and manipulating these tax laws, which are built to work in their favor in that way. And so it's the everyman that doesn't know how to manipulate these laws. And so we got to be savvy. So yeah, I congratulate you.
Yeah. And Anonymous, my credit was over 750 before last week too. So I mean, yeah, you could be responsible, but things can happen. But it is about restructuring.
I have a question. And this is really for the both of you. What is the dollar amount? How much debt does one have to get into file bankruptcy? Right? Is it $100,000? Is it $250,000? Is it what is it? What's the number?
You want to answer that, Dr. Jerome?
That's not my area of expertise, so I'll leave that to you.
So I would say if it takes you longer than 2 years to pay it off, then go ahead and get rid of it. And don't ever do a Chapter 13 in my opinion. Unless you absolutely have to, there's nothing else you could do. Because of Chapter 13, you're getting your credit fucked up because you filed bankruptcy. You got to pay it back anyway. It's still going to be on your credit. So I would say Chapter 7, wipe that shit out. The moment that you filed your bankruptcy is the moment that those creditors have to, by law, stop calling you. So the moment I walked out of bankruptcy court, the phone call stopped immediately. The letters stopped immediately. The harassment stopped.
You did which chapter did you do?
Chapter 7.
Oh, Chapter 7.
Do not have to pay it back. You're
What was
free.
your number?
Huh?
What was your number? What was your number, Constance? What felt overwhelming for you?
So the amount that I had to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, so 2008 I had a baby, and right before that, I was still an independent real estate agent. I had an assistant. So that month before, I didn't pay my insurance. So then I had a baby with no insurance. So I had $50,000 that I had to pay for the baby and medical expenses, and I had all other kind of shit. So I had over hundreds of thousands, like maybe over $100,000. But it just depends, because you might make $50,000 a year, and $10,000 may seem overwhelming to you, or $20,000. It just, my rule of thumb is, if it takes you more than 2 years to pay it off. The reason why I say that, though, is because in 2 years after bankruptcy, you can get a home loan. You can get back in the game. So if you file bankruptcy today, 2 years, wait 2 years, get your credit back on track, you can start purchasing property. You good.
Yeah. And here's the thing, it was something very pertinent that you mentioned, that you had this $50,000 of debt from having a baby. The number one reason that people file bankruptcy is medical debt. And so that goes to policy in this country. We don't, at the time of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the president, when he instituted the New Deal back in the 40s after World War II, where we got, housing assistance and welfare.
We didn't get it. The white people got it back then. We didn't get that.
As Americans, at the time, it was thrown on the table to do socialized medicine. And so socialized medicine was introduced as far as the Medicaid and Medicare, but at that point, they wanted to do it for everybody. And the number one reason why we did not get full socialized medicine for all citizens is because the racist white supremacists said, we don't want Black people to have free healthcare. So now it's biting everybody in the butt, because Europe, you can fall out and break your leg. You might wait in line for a while if you're in the UK, but you're going to go to the hospital on NHS. In France, the same thing. But in America, we don't have a right to basic health care without having to worry about bills. And as a doctor, it is so ridiculous. It is burning so many doctors out, fighting with these insurance companies, and they don't pay, and it puts businesses in jeopardy. And so I know the Biden administration had instituted some things about the medical debt, but then now the Trump administration has reversed some of that. So that medical debt is a huge, huge factor in financial health as far as bankruptcy is concerned.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. And it's funny because we send all these billions of dollars to Israel every year, and they have free healthcare. They have free school, and we don't. It's crazy. The irony. I mean, the system is messed up. But we're going to talk more about it when we come back from the commercial.
I know you're busy. You got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money, and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Yay. So listen, if you just tuned in, we're talking about the blueprint for bouncing back from bankruptcy and hard times. And you have just the right 3 people to talk to you about bouncing back from hard times, because it's hard out here in these mother effing streets, yo. Let me tell you something. It ain't no joke. But Tisha Campbell was talking about how after bankruptcy, and I can relate to this too. Being when I went through not bankruptcy, divorce. When I went through a divorce, I lost over $1 million, and so it's real. Like there's some things. The Bible says Ecclesiastes 11:2 tells you to have 8 revenue streams because we never know when a disaster is going to strike. It could be in the form of a divorce, a death, a COVID, whatever. It could be all of those things. And for Tisha Campbell and myself, it was because of a divorce. So let's take a look at what she did and what she went through.
If I was 21, what would I say to my 21-year-old self? Have separate bank accounts. No, don't do no joint. Do a joint just to pay the bills, but always have autonomy with your finances. Soon as you give up autonomy with your finances or any fiscal matters, you lose yourself. If you don't slow down, you're going to be in a grave tomorrow. Learn about every aspect of whatever business you're in. Take in everything. Learn from everybody so that you can be better. That sounds fair to me. Deal. Because of this, you have to be extraordinary in order to be considered average. I have to be the best. And I don't compete with others, I compete with myself. So that's what I tell her ass though. If I was 21.
She ain't lying. I don't know though. I mean, so you all, I've been married in my 20s. And neither of you have been married, correct?
I have not been married.
And so it's easy to look back and say, in your 40s or, being a woman of a certain age, I would never get those same bank account. But what do you subscribe to that? Or at this stage in your life, would you commingle your funds with your significant other, Dr. Charm?
No, I'm a fan of Susie Orman, and so that was something that she always talked about. I remember, I don't know if she still has that show on was it MSNBC, but I used to watch her. She'd be going off on those live callers, but she was always an advocate of having separate bank accounts and a joint account for bill paying. It's just the smartest thing to do, and unfortunately, we're in a male-dominated society, and men make more money than women. I mean, the women are 80 cents on the dollar. And so many women get into these situations where the man makes more money. And if he's if he has access and he's controlling the bank account, then he's like, well, I'm bringing home all this money. So women, we don't have our own money. Then like in this instance of like a stay-at-home mom or someone who's working part-time or has quit her job to take care of the kids. So I just think as a woman, we have to protect ourselves and have some autonomy on our accounts. And then it's just smart. I had one of my godmother, her husband, and they're from a different community, an Eastern European community, and the men kind of controlled everything. But I remember that her husband died, and he was the love of her life. He died at 40 suddenly of a heart attack, and he had like $300,000 or $400,000 in the bank. She had no access to the bank accounts. She had no access to any of the passwords and things. They had a child in common, so she's sitting here. She had a side business, like a small business, but he was the breadwinner, and she had to go through probate court just to get access. And every time, because he had no will, they hadn't talked about any of this stuff. Whenever her son needed anything, then she had to write to the judge and send off that information. And that just could have been avoided by having financial planning and making sure you know what's going on and exercising some financial judiciousness as a couple.
Yeah. What about you, Ms. Black Hollywood here? What do you think? Do you think it's prudent at this point, to kind of keep your finances separate? Is that protection? Would you consider that protection?
Man, I'm just learning from the people around me, right? And my naive, have been married ever self wants to say, like, man, we take it, we build together, we grow together, right? That's what I want to say. And maybe we take your income and we live off that, but we take my income and we invest it. And so in 10 years, we have something to fall back on or retire if ever we need it. So I'm thinking more like, instead of me, I'm thinking we. But I know that it just got to be the right situation, which is probably why I'm not married right now, because I feel like it just got to be the right situation. I feel like I've seen enough people where a marriage has been great, and I've seen people fall apart. So hopefully I'm on the spectrum of, I find someone that I don't see red flags and all of that make me like he walk away with my money or whatever it is. So I don't know. That's just kind of the way I've been approaching it.
Would you get a prenup?
Yup.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
You didn't say it with
I feel like we
confidence.
got to work together, right? I mean, we
You
just
didn't
got
say
to
it with
talk
confidence
about
and
it. Let's just put
conviction.
some stuff on the. Let's just put some stuff on the paper, just in case. Whatever that means. Let's just put some paper. Let's just talk about it while we still love each other and figure out what that looks like, right? In the beginning, just say like, oh, if
I
I
don't
come
believe
into
you.
this, yeah, if I come into this situation with this much,
I don't
I
believe
can
you.
leave out with that while we
I don't
still
believe
love
you.
each other. And I'm like, that makes sense, instead of waiting until after where I'm
I
bitter
don't believe
and
you.
I want to take
Because
everything
you were
again.
like, I don't believe you because you were like, yes. You didn't say it with enough conviction for me. You didn't say that, Joe. You weren't like, hell yeah. You was like, yes. Okay, so I think about it.
I'm team prenup. I'm team prenup because I know I mentioned it on this show before, but I had to pay my child's father child support for many years, even though I had more custody. And it's just because I made much more money. And so after enduring that situation, I am just a fan of prenups. I just think it's a protection. You have everything separated because if you go through a divorce, emotions all over the place. And if there's a plan in place already, of course, prenups can be challenged, but it's just a protection, and it's here to. I remember Candy from Escape, from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They had a huge storyline there where Todd didn't want to sign the prenup, and Candy said, you're gonna have to sign this prenup because I've seen too much mess go down. And look at Halle Berry, like this woman got married to 3 different men, and out of the 3, she has to pay she got married 3 times, but she has to pay child support to the 2 white men, Gabriel Arberne, that she had a daughter with, and then Olivier Martinez, that she was married to and had the son with. And these are able-bodied men. And I know when her and Eric Benet were going through it, I think he tried to come after her money, saying that she had been like a mother to the daughter. Now, she hadn't adopted his daughter, but he was like, oh, well, you've been a mother to the daughter, so you should provide for my daughter. And look at what happened with Mary J. Blige. Now, they had a prenup in place, but it was 10 years. And a lot of times when a prenup is over 10 years old, especially in California, then it's ripe to be thrown out or not really considered or to be renegotiated. And so now she had to pay for Kendu and go back on tour. And I love Mary J. Blige, but sometimes Mary looks like she don't want to be there on that stage. She making this money to pay Kendu and his lawyers.
She always do. She always look like she don't want to be on stage. She be
She
like,
put on a good show. She get tired though. Since almost 60. I mean, she tired. Shit. She give you listen. That first 10 minutes is fire, but her ass is woe out by the time the cameras come out. She wore out.
So, Constance, I mean, being through what you've been through, I already know the answer. What are you on file prenup?
Well, first of all, I'm never getting married again. That's the answer to the question. However, if I have a lapse of judgment, no, but see, I'm looking at marriage a lot differently these days. I'm looking at marriage more of a spiritual connection, because I don't believe that we need to have Uncle Sam up in our business. We don't need the laws to tell us who we are and who we love and who we with and who we committed to. So I don't believe that that's necessary. The only reason why it's necessary is to control the situation, right? So if I had a lapse in judgment and maybe I was drunk and went to Vegas or something, I would do the prenup though. It is just, I think like Dr. Charm says, it's more of kind of just establishing what's what. It's not like, you get X amount of dollars if we divorce, or, this is what I got and I ain't paying you nothing. It's more these are the things that I have established. These are the things that are set aside for my children. because I've worked very hard so that my children could get these things. And this is where this is going should something happen to me. And then if we make money, or if we create a business together, then, you know, that's stuff that we split 50-50. But anything prior to that, like, that's going to my children. And then we can, you know, we can divvy it out that way. So that's how I would look at it. I wouldn't approach it necessarily as a prenup, because prenup, there's such a negative connotation to it, but it'd be like more of like a business plan for our marriage. Ooh, a business plan for our marriage. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
I
So
mean, you sound like a man when you like, it's more of a spiritual connection and you know, you sound like
what we gotta get married for?
Yeah.
God knows our hearts.
So you gonna have a boyfriend forever?
She's such a hippie. She done got the braids now. She's like, we don't have to get on papers, honey. Let's just,
listen. We love each other. This is
love is love. We are one with the Creator.
Oh my God, what is a man gonna do with you, girl?
We gotta do all that worldly shit. What about you guys? Let me ask, because I see Sophia said prenup all day. What about you in chat? What do you guys think? Would you get a prenup? How do you look at a prenup if you did? Is that only for people who are established of a certain age? Because my daughter, 26, she ain't got shit. What's she prenupping? I prenup. Well, I mean, she does own property, so she does, you know, that, right? But like for most kids in their 20s, like, I ain't got nothing. So what we prenupping? So you really wouldn't think about that when you don't really have anything. Well, Anonymous said, what? Without marriage, we have no functioning society.
I agree with Anonymous. You know,
I don't habitate.
Well, I agree with Anonymous.
No, I agree with Anonymous too. I think there's too much cohabitation going on, and marriage offers protection. I mean, the gays fought tooth and nail to be able to get married because,
like I say,
it has those legal protections. You don't have to worry about when somebody's on their deathbed or they're got a tube down their throat. Well, who's got the power of attorney? And I'm gonna fight over the family. No, I'm the wife. Here's the marriage certificate. That's it. You don't have to fight with anybody and then also like with real estate, if you're, domestic partners, and there's things that are set in place with
trust.
Contract.
Get a trust.
Yeah, you put in the trust. But sometimes people don't do things like that. They're just living together. And so if somebody's married and they have what's called a joint tenancy, then it's automatic. If the husband or wife dies, the other person automatically gets the property. So there are a lot of legal protections in marriage.
Get a trust. You're good. But listen, Deborah will win. I love what she said. Constance got the marriage business plan on her site for sale next week, shawty. Next week, shawty. The marriage business plan on my site for sale.
Listen, don't tell Constance that by the end of the weekend it'll be a book. She be like on chat.
Okay, she does it. She does
it. Listen, ask her for some royalties, Deborah.
All right, so we got another video. Let's take a look at this next video.
Chad, approximately how much does the student loan adversary proceeding cost? Does it vary from state to state?
So it varies from state to state. What we do is we charge a low amount down, and then we do monthly payments on it. If you do billable hours, which that's traditionally, it's 10 to 20,000. What I'm seeing on an average is anywhere from 3,500 to 7,500. But again, you're looking at monthly payment plans, and we do payment plans of a few $100s a month. And we do a full analysis prior to filing the adversary proceeding, because we don't want to file cases that are going to be unsuccessful.
I'm not a TV bitch. I'm a bitch that's on TV. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not one of these TV fucking bitches.
I don't know. I don't even know what that is. That wasn't the video, y'all.
I'm saying, well, what's the financial adversary? I don't even know what that is.
Right. I'm like, wait, I thought she was gonna tell me, but that wasn't the video that I was trying to play.
Oh, I thought was that Basketball Wives or Love and Hip Hop?
It was one of them. That wasn't even what I was trying to play. But there was another video of a young man just talking about the cost of bankruptcy and actually this is something that you can is it expensive? Is it like going through a divorce where everything kind of takes money from you? I wanted to get into that conversation, like, because you said that divorce took a lot from you, right, yeah, Constance? And so I just wanted to talk a bit about that. Like, how much does it cost to file bankruptcy? Is it expensive? Is it something that takes a lot from you is what I was trying to.
So I filed bankruptcy back in 2008, 2009. So for me, it was like, what, $1,300 back then? Might be maybe 2,000, 1,600 at this point. It's not a whole lot of money. So when you do a chapter 7, chapter 13s are going to be much more expensive than a chapter 7. So in chapter 7, what happens is, what my attorney said is, a lot of people that they want to be good stewards, they'll do a chapter 13 because they want to repay, right? I just want to just pay my debts back. I don't know why, but they do. But they end up falling behind on their payments, and they end up going back and filing a chapter 7 anyway. And he's like, these chapter 13 bankruptcy attorneys, they already know that they're going to come back, that they're not going to finish it. So they're going to take their money twice. So you just go ahead and knock it out with a chapter 7 where you never have to come back. It does not cost that much. And what you do is they'll pull your credit report, and they'll get everything on there. And then there's language inside the bankruptcy that is anything that wasn't on the credit report, that's something that pops up later, that's also included. So then you don't have to get stuck with other things just getting popped up. So if you have, say you have a car, one of my clients had a car that they started reporting her late after bankruptcy. Oh, no. She was late. She can be late, but they can no longer report it. So nothing can be reported. She was able to keep the car, because she was like 30 days behind all the time. So they didn't come and take the car, but they cannot report even if you're late after bankruptcy. It's all included in the bankruptcy. So
how long does it give you that kind of window?
I think I'm not sure, maybe the next 12 months, but I think what happens is it has to be dated within that time. When it had to have been originated during the time of the bankruptcy for it to be kind of a catch-all included in that bankruptcy. But here's the negative about the bankruptcy is it stays on your credit for 10 years. So if there's not a way that you can get it off, it can stay on your credit for up to 10 years. And even if it's not on your credit, somebody can find out about your bankruptcy, with public records. So it's always going to be there. It's going to be a stain on your credit for at least 10 years. However, the further that you move away from it, the higher your credit score goes, you reestablish yourself. It's just going to be a little blemish on your credit report that says chapter 7 or chapter 13 bankruptcy. So it's not a hard thing to do.
I mean, does that guarantee that you won't get, because I see that on everything, right? It'll say, have you ever filed bankruptcy? And you have to check yes or no. If you check yes, does that mean that you will not automatically get whatever it is?
I say no. And I filed bankruptcy over 10 years ago. So no, I have not, because it says within the last 10 years or the last 7 years or whatever. It's not on my bank. It's not on my credit. So yeah.
Got it.
But here's the thing. So also with the type of business that I'm in, I own a mortgage company. And like I said, I use my credit for a lot. I use my credit for business. I have to pull my credit when I'm partnering with different lenders. They do ask you, like if you're doing certain business things, they ask you if you did file bankruptcy. And I have to say yes. Because I filed bankruptcy in 2009, in 2009. 2010, I started Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, which then came on to be the largest African-American owned real estate firm in California. But as I was growing my business, I had to answer those questions. And I just completed a letter of explanation saying, yeah, I did file bankruptcy, but now here's where I am, and it'll never happen again. Easy.
People are asking what kind of trust to get.
A revocable living trust if you ain't super duper wealthy. A revocable living trust. And oh, by the way, I was on here talking about living trust one day, and I have living trusts on my property. On my properties, I swear by them because that's the way that you can protect yourself. So I was on here telling everybody, you can go on ChatGPT and do a living trust or whatever. And so I was redoing my living trust because I had an attorney. I paid thousands of dollars for it, and then I was just updating my living trust through ChatGPT. So I created a ebook for $20, and it sold thousands of copies. And it's on Make My Living Trust. You see the ebook. But what I do is I look at problems and I try to find a solution. And so I created an ebook where you can create your own living trust. It's legal. It tells you how to file them, how to all the verbiage you need.
Come on, Constance.
Go to makemylivingtrust.com.
Yeah, Constance is an executor, right? That's why I said before the end of the weekend, she'll have that.
We talked about it on Thursday. Saturday, I had the whole ebook.
That's it, and was selling it by Monday morning. Listen,
my next book is going to be how to navigate the parent student loan process, the student loans in America, or something like that.
Once I get past this bullshit.
All right, I think we have one more. We have another video. I hopefully it's not like whatever we just saw, because I thought I pulled something else. But let's take a look at that.
Now, Heifer, you knew I wasn't gonna leave you hanging, right? You're trying to contemplate whether or not it's a good idea for you to file bankruptcy after I done told you to. I wasn't allowing you to go into 2025 without giving you a step-by-step guide on the ins and outs of filing bankruptcy. I don't care if it is chapter 7 or chapter 13. Your auntie got you covered. The link is in my bio. It's only $9.99. You could break it up in 4, or you could go ahead and get the other ebook to learn how to break everything up.
Oh God.
Wait,
God.
what did she say? Tell me what she said.
She was trying to sell because she was trying to sell us like her ebook. But initially there was listen, I must have been on.
I was wondering. Okay, so what are we doing? What are we looking at?
No, all right. She was giving us a little tip, but that wasn't what uploaded.
I didn't get it.
That was a commercial for that book.
Right. She was trying to. So in another video, she was clearly that's what uploaded, but she was telling us that it didn't matter whether you filed chapter 7 or chapter 13. Either way, you could still bounce back from it. So if that's what you're saying. So Constance, okay, question. So tell us the difference between the two, because you're saying don't file one, file the other. But like, what's the difference, and why are you so like? What's the difference between the two?
So you have a chapter 7, you have a chapter 11, which is a business bankruptcy, and you have a chapter 13. So Donald Trump was able to file. Remember, I think one of the first shows I came on was when the guy who had the 8 kids and he had like 10 bankruptcies. And you're like, how is he able to do all the bankruptcies? Remember the reality show guy who they had all the kids?
John and Kate plus 8.
John and Kate plus 8.
John and Kate plus 8, the Asian guy.
He had a bunch of bankruptcies, but the way he was able to do it is because he had multiple companies. He had multiple businesses. You can't file bankruptcy, but every 10 years. So you can't go back and keep filing bankruptcy. But so your chapter 7 is they wipe off the debt. Debt is gone. Boom. Lasts on your credit for 10 years. But and the moment you file, like I said, they can't call you or nothing. You're done. You never have to pay that debt back again. Done. A chapter 13 is a reestablished. Just like if you go to a consumer credit counseling agency, a lot of people come to me, they go, hey, should I go to a consumer credit counseling agency? No, because that's almost like filing a chapter 13. It's somebody else taking your debt and paying it for you. What it tells a lender is that you are not responsible to pay your own debt. And you have this third party, whether it be the bankruptcy court, a trustee, or a consumer credit counseling agent that's paying your bills for you. So it's a repayment. So they say, okay, it's going to take you 10 years to pay this off. We'll do it in the next 5 years, and we'll put you on a payment plan that's affordable for you. The problem is it's ongoing. You have to continue to do it, and it may take a long time, and you're still going to have that same waiting period when it comes to like purchasing property. It's a repayment. Why repay when you ain't got to? And I think I forget who it was saying that she wasn't able to file chapter 7. She had to file chapter 13. There are income limits to filing. So I was making over $200,000 a year when I filed chapter 7, but I'm also self-employed. So I was able to write a whole bunch of stuff off. So then my adjusted gross income wasn't $200,000. So it's funny because when I went to court, everybody was filing bankruptcy in 08, 09. Everybody, right? So everybody's in 30 seconds. They go before the judge. 30 seconds, they're in and out. Okay, done. They grilled my ass. They saw my bank statements. They saw all this money coming in and coming out. And they grilled me. And I had to get up on the stand and answer the questions. They grilled me for about 15 minutes. And I was so scared. And my attorney came afterwards and she was like, I was so scared for you. You did so good. And I just have ease. And well, what's this for? And I'll just explain it. This is this. And they approved me. But if you're making a certain amount of money, you have a lot going out, a lot coming in, you're able to explain it. If you're self-employed, you're still able to do it, even though there are credit limits. But the difference between chapter 7 and chapter 13 is chapter 13, you got to repay. Chapter 7, you do not. And I recommend not paying. Well, I'm going to have bad credit and I'm going to repay you.
Well, I had a question, because you mentioned that I think after bankruptcy, you can be eligible for a home within 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can. You can buy a home using FHA financing in 2 years.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
And sometimes immediately, right? So you can get a non-traditional loan right outside of bankruptcy if you have a little bit of money to put down. But for the most part, you can get a government-backed loan in 2 years after bankruptcy. And if you're getting a conventional loan, that's 4 years after bankruptcy.
Game.
All right. So let's look at some of the stats we got on the board, baby. All right. So listen, bankruptcy, according to the American Bankruptcy Institute, individuals who file for Chapter 7 can start rebuilding their credit in as little as 18 months, but it can take 3 to 5 years to recover fully depending on the individual's financial management. Let me just talk to you really quick, because here's the thing about it, and I talk about this inside the Grow Your Money Club, is how to restart after bankruptcy. Go to growyourmoney.club. Yeah. But with that being said, is that you have to reestablish yourself immediately. So they're going to take all your credit cards. I was like, even the good ones? They was like, even the good ones. I was like, can I keep? If you want to get rid of the bad ones, you got to get rid of the good ones too. You got to restart. They're closing all of them. Good, bad, ugly. I had some cars that I did not want to put in there. They put my cars in there. I'm so grateful they put I had this minivan that I owe like 25, 30,000 on it. It was worth 2,000. I'm so glad that they put that damn car up in there that I told them not to. So, and so when I let it go back to the, because I ended up letting it go. Wasn't no skin off my back. I was still paying it until I didn't want to pay it anymore. And when I let it go, nothing on my credit, right? Because it was already included in the bankruptcy. So reestablishing after, you can have a 700 credit score damn near within 12 months of filing bankruptcy if you reestablish correctly. And I talk about it in the Grow Your Money Club, growyourmoney.club. What's the next slide? Yeah. Experian reports that individuals who successfully complete their bankruptcy repayment plan see an average increase in their credit score of 100 plus points within the first year of starting their recovery plan. That's true. Yeah. So all you got to do is make sure you just restart. You got to get financially independent. The National Endowment for Financial Education reports that individuals who seek financial education after a bankruptcy setback are 35% more likely to rebuild their financial security successfully.
Grow Your Money Club.
And a Bureau of Labor Statistics report found that those who experience long-term unemployment can see a significant dip in their standard of living, which never fully recover financially after 5 plus years on the job. And know this, if you file bankruptcy, guys, they do make you go through a financial literacy training to make sure that you don't get back into that same trouble again. So a lot of people are ashamed to file bankruptcy. Just like you said, Dr. Charm, it's a business decision. After they talk to me, they run down to the courthouse. Because when I tell you, when I went up in there, the sky was gloomy. The clouds was gray. When I came out that mug, I was floating. The sun was shining. The birds were. You mean to tell me I ain't got to worry about another phone call, another letter, nobody threatening my ass? Because y'all, I've had bankruptcies, foreclosures, short sales. I've been homeless, I've been there. So I understand hardships, and it's okay because you can recover from it. And that's what I want to tell you today, is that you can recover from it. But
debt is slavery, and I don't think people realize that. And I remember I've only gone to Africa once, and that was like 25 years ago. And I remember everybody was like, "Oh, you're from America. Can you sponsor me? Oh, your shoes are pretty. Like, oh, can I get this? I went to the Republic of Benin, and oh, y'all living so good over there. I felt like a celebrity. Like, can you sponsor me?" And I had to tell them, I'm like, if you have a little shack over here, if that's what you have, because you've got poor people in Africa, you got rich people in Africa, but I was around the people that were poor. I said, you don't understand, that's yours. But in America, everybody is in debt, and the society is set up that way. And we have to realize that it is really just it's all a holograph. It's the game, it's the holograph, and it's either you know how to manipulate this matrix or you don't.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Debt can be good or it can be bad. And that's what I need y'all to understand as well, because the way that the wealthy use debt and the way that the poor use debt is very different. The wealthy is using debt to establish tax breaks and tax credits. That's the reason why they're not paying the same amount of money in taxes as we are, is because they're using passive income and we are using earned income, and they're using their debt as leverage for protections to hide their wealth. And so instead of them using their money, they're borrowing money, and they're using it to purchase other assets, which then gives them passive income. That's why having good credit is so extremely important. If you know how to play the game right, debt could be a good thing. But if you don't know how to play the game right, debt is a scam. It's a prison. So we have one last commercial, and then I want to go to our final thoughts.
Hey, it's Dr. Lene Javette, Brand Your Brilliance coach and vision execution strategist. I help my clients to bring their vision to life by building real strategies that work. Recently, I've helped multiple entrepreneurs to organize and write their grants. This Saturday, I'm partnering with the Fly Nubian Money Club to help you do the same. Now, there will be no gatekeeping, just real strategies to help you access the free money and resources that your business needs and deserves. So whether you're just getting started, launching a startup, or growing a seasoned business, I hope to see you in the room this Saturday, July 26th at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. It's time to stop self-funding and start getting funded. See you Saturday.
I love Dr. Lene. So Saturday, Fly Nubian Money Club. If you don't know, now you know. You better get there for this great training because Dr. Lene is absolutely the truth. Go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. So ladies, I'm going to start with you, Dr. Charm. If you could leave our audience with one lesson or maybe a mantra that helped you to bounce back from the brink of bankruptcy, debt, or financial failure, what would it be?
And so this is my final thought.
Yes.
We as a Black community, we have a racial wealth gap. We have been at disadvantage, but we have every tool at our disposal to come out of that condition and help one another and build a legacy. I'm always inspired by Black Wall Street and the fact that we improved our literacy. I believe it was like 80% within the first 2 years after slavery, within the first 4 years after slavery. So Black people, when we come together, we can do so much. And I've experienced financial hardships, bad credit, but I was able to work with a Black-owned company and get my credit to the point where I could buy my house, and now I have a home. And so I just got my real estate license. I'm really excited about putting first-time home buyers into homes. And I've also just joined Nubian Money. And so Nubian Money is a Black-owned fintech company, financial technology company, and we specialize in helping business owners establish credit, helping individuals establish credit, finding grants and tax incentives, getting debt help, applying for business funding and credit building. And if you want to find out more, credit restoration, because we need to close this racial wealth gap. And if you want to find out more, you can go to my link, nubianmoney.com/CHTIMS777. And let's build, let's improve.
All right. Good stuff. All right. For you, Miss Tierra, if you could leave our audience with one lesson or mantra that helped you bounce back from the brink.
From the brink.
From the brink, because the brink of splitting your wrist, the brink of making $3 in 4 hours, the brink, baby.
The brink. I would just say it's all in your perspective and your mindset. We are so used to, as Black people, always having to fight through good times, and good times meaning like the show, like you never get out the ghetto. We are so used to devastation. We are so used to it and having to bounce back. And the thing is, you don't have to do that. We don't always have to bounce back from zero. If we can just really sit down and think about and go to places like the Fly Nubian Money Club or Grow Your Money Club or wherever you go, you can figure it out, because you don't have to start from zero every single time. I think that's actually what keeps us down as a community. We're always starting from zero. We're always spending till the last cent. We always, when we borrow money, it's like, I don't got no money, right? I just think we could fortify ourselves and our community and our just a little better. So spend with Black people, make sure that you are prepared, talk to Constance, join the Fly Nubian Money Club. As a matter of fact, this Saturday I'm so excited to be with Dr. Lene, and she said we were going live at 5 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what time that is because I can't do that, but we're gonna be live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just so you know that 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and she's going to help you use, grant writing and getting grants as a part of your business model. So not only are you're generating your clients, but you're also using grants to get money for your business. So join a club is my final thought. Join a club of any sort. Like, we're around here talking money every single day. Just make sure your ears are to the street and you're actually applying those things. Be like Constance. Constance can hear something on a Friday, and by Saturday morning, it's on the internet live. So I would just say just keep doing, keep living, keep pivoting, keep using the creativity that God gave you. And that's what I did. I just stay creative.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And shout out to whoever that was that said they send everybody to my website. I sure appreciate you. Because I do it because I see a need and I love Black people. And it's not, the stuff I do is not exclusively for Black people, except for the Net 7. Net 7 is exclusively for Black women. But everything else I do is for everybody. I want everybody to have an opportunity, but I love Black people and I'm always going to be Black first. What I know to be true is bankruptcy and failure and hard times, none of that defines who you are. It actually refines who you are.
Ooh. That's good. Bars. Sorry.
Bars.
Bars.
Because let me tell you, sometimes the breakdown is maybe just the blueprint. Your hardships can be the blueprint to help other people. And the breakdown is the blueprint for your breakthrough, boo. You might have lost your money. You might have lost your time. You might have lost yourself. You might have lost all those things, maybe even the moment, but you have not lost your power because it's still within you. You are still the architect of your next level. And that's what I want you to know today. Okay. So if you're ready to rebuild and you're ready to not just survive, but to thrive, to get to your next level, to elevate, then it's time that you take action today. And if you've been sitting in your heart, and if you want to rebuild, you want to do all those things, I am doing a training on Saturday at 11 Eastern, or no, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. I'm doing the Bring Your Idea to Life. I want to take you from having an idea. I know many of you have ideas, from ideation to manifestation to monetization, because your story is not over. You already got the bounce back. Now it's time to build forward. Okay. So the Bring Your Idea to Life is for you. It's for those who have an idea and you want to take that idea. You want to close the wealth gap, because Dr. Charm talked about closing the racial wealth gap. Only 3% of businesses in Black communities are owned by Black people. And when we talk about only 6 hours to spend in our communities, because there's no Black businesses to do Black business with. So you have to be the great equalizer. You have to be the one. You have an idea. Now it's time to get off your ass and not just be a hearer of the word. It's time to be a doer of the word. Bring your idea, the number 2 life.com. And I'll see you on Saturday, hopefully. Oh yeah. By the way, I'm actually, for the people who, the folks who sign up for the premium, I'm doing a one-on-one coaching session. My coachings are $500 an hour. That gets in. That's also a part of the folks who sign up. Y'all get a one-on-one with your girl, and people pay me. Trust. People pay me $500 to spend an hour with me. And that's actually really inexpensive, but it's a great investment for you. But let me just tell you this. We appreciate you joining us today as we discuss the essential steps for bouncing back after financial setbacks. The journey of financial recovery may not be easy, but it's entirely possible with the right mindset, plan, and support. So remember, no matter how tough the financial situation is, you always have the power to rebuild. Let's keep striving for financial freedom and stability, and let's continue to support each other along the way. Until next time, stay strong. We're going to see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.